What's going on, everybody? K to the 2 here with the Battle Union Week 2. This week we are going up against RTK and his Portland Timbers. We have played him a few times in the past. Last season in TBU, he filled in for, I believe it was Cloud, and we ended up winning that game. I tried getting Zard all 6 kills because I was being very selfish and, didn't quite work out. We still won the game. Still won with Zard, I think. I don't remember now. Shoot. Anyway, we beat him last season in PPL D2 as well. And also the season before that, we lost to him in D2. Aided by some rock slide miss that definitely mattered. Sad. But anyway, this week we are up against RTK. We can get our triple revenge on him. Avenge ourselves 3 times over for the one time that he hacked us. So that's going to be what we're looking out to do. And in doing so, this is the teammate we brought. We have Aurorus, Lando I, Lucario, Slowking, Decidueye, and Sylveon. Now here, again, I am not doing team builders this season. If you guys want to see what the team is, there will be a paste bin down below. Paste bin, Pokepaste, whatever's working. Last week, Pokepaste didn't work, which is what I was usually going to... Excuse me. Which is what I normally would use in that situation, but it wasn't working for some reason. So instead, I used a paste bin. We'll see what's down there. You will see what is in the description if you go ahead and check it out right now. But if you guys want a quick rundown on what I'm bringing a Sugarberry Aurorus with my Stealth Rocks, Blizzard. It's the Snow Warning set instead of Refrigerate. So Snow Warning with Ancient Power and Freeze Dry with my Stealth Rocks. Max HP, Max Special Attack, Modest Nature, because I didn't really need any speed for anything. The only thing I'm speed creeping, I believe, is Umbreon. If I am correct on that. If not, I'm not even outspeeding anything because I'm outsped by everything on his team. That thing's pretty important for wearing down Finny. Really good for Articuno. Really good for getting up rocks, which will help for the 3 rocks weaknesses that he brought, and wearing down Finny, which is also weak. Not weak to rocks, but it doesn't have reliable recovery, so having any extra bit of chip damage as I go would be very helpful. Next up we have a Rock Polish Landorus Incarnate with Earth Power, Focus Blast, and Rock Slide. Rock Slide is only there for Articuno, Darmanitan, and not Darmanitan, I already hit it with Earth Power, and Aerodactyl, Articuno, Aerodactyl. Those are the 2 things that I wanted to hit. With Rock Slide, I didn't need any extra attack investment, really, so I only threw 4 EVs in there. It would kill them both regardless. So if I get a Rock Polish up, and I have the correct chip damage on his team, this thing wins. Speaking of correct chip damage and this thing wins, Lucario is another thing. I decided to run Adamant, very bulky Lucario because of the team that he has. The only thing that I really needed to outspeed was an uninvested, Silvally Steel was what I was expecting, because that's his best answer to Sylveon. And if it was Silvally Normal for some reason, then I could also hit that. I'm also outspeeding the Umbreon. Everything else I hit with my dual priority and Extreme Speed and Bullet Punch. I'm running Normalium Z on Lucario to make sure that I can obliterate the Tapu Fini, and +2 the Breakneck Blitz will do about 2/3 to max defense, bold, max HP Tapu Fini. So if I wear it down just a tad, I will be able to destroy it at +2. Next up we have a Calm Mind, Rocky Helmet, Defensive Slowking. All I needed was Scald and Ice Beam. Really, that's all I felt comfortable really having to need. He has his Zygarde 50% on his team, and just everything on my team except for Lucario really deals with the Zygarde. Lando, to an extent, doesn't because it's super fat and I would need chip damage on it, but it's good for getting off really big damage on the Zygarde, so that's good. But yeah, Slowking here has Ice Beam only for the Zygarde pretty much. Scald just hits everything else. Calm Mind, just really good. It'll stop Articuno from being able to freeze dry us and do a ton of damage. It'll stop whatever other special attackers he has, like Silvally would be one. If he wants to plop a Toxic on it, then that's probably his way of beating it. But Regen is going to be there in order to help us get back to full health. I don't have to Calm Mind for Slowking to be useful, so that's why I decided to bring it. Next up we have Decidueye, and the pairing of Decidueye and Sylveon this week is what we're looking at right now, because I have Spirit Shackle with Nasty Plot and Baton Pass to go into Max Defense Sylveon, Wish Protect, Hidden Power Ground, and Hyper Voice. Now, the reason I did this is because, well, if he didn't have a Fairy Resist on his team besides Darmanitan. He had Metagross on his roster, and he decided to drop it for Articuno, which blew my mind because I was like, yes, I can bring Sylveon, and it can do a ton of work. But I was still afraid of a potential Silvally Steal, to the point where I brought Hidden Power Ground over Heal Bell. Kind of wish that, like the moments leading up to the game, I wish that I had Heal Bell, because it would have helped not get toxic, as you're going to see. But yeah, besides that, that's all I really got to say. Kind of sad that he didn't bring Zygarde, because it doesn't mean I'll have a really good opportunity to Nasty Pass with Decidueye into Sylveon, but Sylveon is still useful. Decidueye not as useful, but it can still be useful. So that's what we are rolling with. Let's go ahead and hop right into the game. I decided to lead with my Aurorus, as you were going to see. Leading with Aurorus, mainly because I just wanted to get my rocks up early game. And what he's going to do is he's actually going to lead off with his Aerodactyl. I decided I don't want to stay in here with my Aurorus. I don't want to stay in here, take Stone Edge, because it can kill if it's Life Orb. If it's Rocky MZ, it can kill. Especially, like, even Z Earthquake could kill me, because it is a nerf. It'll break through my Shuka Berry. That wouldn't be good. So we're going to get some Hail Chip damage on this, which is going to be good. I'm going to make the safe play, go out into my Slowking. It takes whatever Aerodactyl wants to go for. Not even like a third if he isn't Life Orb. So he goes for Iron Head. He's going to see that we're Rocky Helmet. That's perfect, because he's going to get some extra chip damage on him. And right off the bat, it's already missing 20% of its health. Right here, I could go for Scald. However, I decide, look, he has two things that switch into the Slowking, and that's going to be Umbreon or Tapu Fini. I'm predicting one of those to come out, so I'm going to go hard on my Sylveon. I'm not expecting him to go for anything really that'll hit Slowking super hard. And even if he does, he'll be taking more Rocky Helmet damage, so we know that prediction correctly. So we have Doggo against Doggo. I just tried to say Espeon. Evolution versus Evolution here. So Sylveon normally wins this matchup, but I don't have a lot of special attack investment. In fact, I don't have any special attack investment. So Hyper Voice isn't going to be doing a whole lot without my my Nasty Plot passed into it. And as you're going to see, it doesn't even do a KO, which means he's completely spit off Umbreon. So he is actually going to be able to get off a Toxic. So that's kind of where I messed up in prep. I could have had Heal Bell over Hidden Power Ground. I was afraid of the Silvally Steal, which I still think it would have been the best Silvally for my team. I would have been able to deal with it with the other Mons on my team, but it would have made Sylveon much less useful against my team, or against his team, rather. So what I'm going to do here is, instead of going for another Hyper Voice, I am going to switch out here. And what am I going to switch into? I honestly don't remember. We're going back into Aurorus here, and the reason I did this is because I expected to switch out from him as well, as he's actually going to reveal Baton Pass here, which is going to be good for him, because it's going to be kind of a thing that he does, is switching around. So right here, he's going to get buffeted by the hail. I don't have rocks up yet. That's right. I wanted to get rocks up. That's why I went into Aurorus. And right here, I expect him to overpredict, because I did have the Slowking come in, and he knows that I can easily go into that at any point. Would have been a safe play to just go into it. So I just decided to get up my rocks right now, and that's going to help out with the Aurora. There we go again, stumbling over words. It would have helped with the Darmanitan and the Tapu Fini and the Aerodactyl, of course. So I'm going to go into my Slowking here, as he's going to roost up. And I'm expecting him again to go into either Tapu Fini or Umbreon. So again, I'm going to make the switch out into my Sylveon. So what I can do is punish this Tapu Fini for wanting to defog, wanting to taunt, whatever it wants to do in front of a Sylveon normally. I can punish it by going for Hyper Voices, putting it in range of things like Lucario's Breakneck Blitz, of Landorus's Earth Power, stuff like that. So it will never really have the chance to get back up to that range of health again if I play correctly. So that is going to be the play that I decide to make. So as you're going to see here, he does end up going for the taunt right away, which is cool. It's actually great because I was not planning on going for Wish or Heal Bell or anything of the sort. So I'm just going to fire off my Hyper Voice. It does about 30%. It's pretty normal, bulky, physically defensive damage. And right there, if it comes in on rocks one more time, it dies to Breakneck Blitz, and I can potentially just win the game with Lucario if I get the right damage on the right things. I still need to scout out what kind of Silvally he is, but right here he is going to go for Defog, pretty much expected. I could have gone hard Aurorus as well, because I would have been able to Freeze Dry in the following turn and do massive damage to this. But I decided just to stay in here with Sylveon. It is my best play. Keeping Sylveon healthy is not the highest of priorities, especially because he didn't bring the Zygarde, so I don't need it to break through the Zygarde. It's just here to really do this. It's just sit in here, do damage to his team, because he doesn't have a whole lot to Sylveon. So the longer that I'm in here clicking Hyper Voice against his team, the better. So he's going to go into his Darmanitan, as I am going to actually switch into Aurorus. I did expect to switch out here. I didn't expect it to be into Darmanitan. I probably should have, considering that Darm is the thing that can switch into Hyper Voices. Not well, but it can, I'm sure. So right here, he is going to get buffeted by the hail, and he's going to reveal Belly Drum. Now what I did here is I just went for Stealth Rock, expecting him to be like a Scarf set, you turn out, something like that. If he killed me, he killed me. I was fine with that. But getting up rocks was the priority. But he does reveal to be the Belly Drum. So right here, I'm just going to sack Aurorus. It did its job. It got up rocks twice, which is going to be huge for the Finny. He's going to go for Flame Charge, and he doesn't get a speed boost because he's Sheer Force. So that was... He realized after the match, wait, why didn't I get it? And I was like, you're Sheer Force, oh no. It was pretty funny when he found out. But I'm just going to go into Lucario because it does knock out the Darmanitan from here. He did have an Eye of Papa Berry, which would have been cool to come in on rocks, get up the Belly Drum. But instead, he was not in range of it ever and went down. So right here, I can't stay in here and kill the Aerodactyl with one Bullet Punch. It does 67 without my boost. 67 max, I believe, without a +2 boost. So what I'm going to do here is, again, I'm going to make the safe play. I'm going to go into my Slowking. And I believe, once again, I'm not going to stay in here with Slowking against the Aerodactyl. And I'm going to hard double out again into Sylveon, I believe. So he is going to go... Oh, this is the time where I do go for Scald. He probably expected that. Expected to switch out one more time, and I am going to go for the Scald. It's going to do a relatively nice amount of damage. He's right about just above half, so 60%. And I'm going to make the switch into Sylveon this time. It doesn't really matter what he goes for. He's going to go for the Shadow Ball here, which is cool. Pretty cool. He's going to do some damage to Sylveon. I could go for Wish here, but I don't really care about keeping Sylveon super healthy. And I'm just going to go for Hyper Voice. Hyper Voice is the best thing to click against his team. Because he is Silvally, which is Ghost. Excuse me. Bless you, Kyle. Thank you. But I did check the bottom screen. It is Silvally Ghost, so that's something that I found out right there. Because it is Silvally Ghost, the only resist that he had on his team was Darmanitan, and that's already gone. So just clicking Hyper Voice is the best thing to do. He does click Parting Shot to get out of there. He doesn't want to take too much damage from Sylveon, I guess, but that's good. I am going to be able to 2-hit KO this Finny with Hyper Voice, which means I'm going to punish it for defogging, and he won't be able to defog again, but of course I can't get rocks up again. But instead of staying in here with Sylveon, I'm going to go hard into my my Landorus, because that means he can't go into something like Silvally in order to parting shot again. Because I am at -1 special attack, he would be able to do something like that, but he is going to go for the defog. I felt that was pretty obvious that he was going to go for. He needed it to keep Articuno healthy, Aerodactyl healthy, and if he wanted to go into Articuno or Aerodactyl here, that would have been a good play. But I could have also just gone for the Rock move right away. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go for the Earth Power, and that is going to take out the Tapu Fini. So Landorus with its 5th kill on the season here, and we are now tied 5 to no, we are taking the lead 5 to 4. So in comes Aerodactyl, and I could potentially just Rock Polish up right here, but I don't want him to have Ice Fang or Aqua Tail, or even Stone Edge will do a lot. Didn't want it to be a Z move, anything like that. Any of that would have potentially killed Landorus, so he's pretty free to roost because it does force me out. And right here, with my Slowking, I am going to go for the Calm Mind. Now, why do I do this? Because in comes Umbreon. That was the last thing he really had to come in on Slowking. If he went into anything else, I was going to end up killing that before it got off, before it was able to kill Slowking, basically. But it does force in this this Umbreon, and because the Misty Terrain is going to wear off, and I saw Toxic earlier, I am set up at this point. I'm going hard into Lucario. This is my opportunity to go into Lucario. I know he's going for Toxic here. That's his way of beating that Slowking, is just toxicking it with his Umbreon. And this is the part where I abuse the shit out of this Umbreon. And I can just go for SD right now. And I can go for game, because Silvally, +2, Bullet Punch does 41 to 51. So I won't be, or 41 to 49, excuse me. +2 Bullet Punch does that much to Silvally. And if I can get up to +4, I 100% win the game. I knew I could live like a Flamethrower if he had that. I could live that because of my Super Bulk investment that I have. But he is going to Parting Shot out, which means we are +1, and we are going to be able to get to +3 here. Now, what I could do is go for another Swords Dance on this Umbreon, but I decided let's just get this thing out of the way right now, because I can still beat the rest of his team at +3. If he has Foul Play, that could do a bunch of damage and could potentially knock us out. I'm not quite sure on that. I didn't do the calc on that prior. But I am just going to go for the Drain Punch. That was my best play, I felt. It was my safest play, especially because Bullet Punch has a good chance to kill this. But as you're going to see, it doesn't. He doesn't have Flamethrower, which is good. We're going to be able to live that fairly well. And we're going to be able to kill off the Silvally again. And all he has left is Umbreon, Articuno, and Aerodactyl. Yeah, those are the 3 that he has left. All 3 of which just die to Lucario. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to Drain Punch. That's the play I have. If he switches out, that whatever comes in also dies. So we're going to get all that health back. We're going to get up nearly to full against this Umbreon. Because Umbreon's super fat, and we get all that health right back. He's going to bring in Articuno next, and if it is a bulky Articuno, it has a chance to live, but at +3, Adamant Bullet Punch should be able to take out this Articuno. Well, should be being the main qualm here, because it still lives. I'm pretty sure that was an absolute min roll. Completely fine. He goes for Hidden Power, we live. So if he had gone into this before Umbreon, he would have been able to take us out. But I definitely felt like we had the game wrapped up, because he didn't have any really good answer for Lando plus Slowking. So I would have been able to finish it out. And if he's Sash, he's roosted up a couple times to get back to his Sash. But as you're going to see here, he's not Focus Sash. He would have gone into that first if he was. And Lucario is going to... Lucario is going to come out of this game 5-0, and we are going to take the win 5-0 over Mr. RTK. And the Harlem Gloomtrotters are now sitting at 2-0 in the TBU. Next week, we are heading up against Ethan and the Tennessee Dynamos. Last season, we destroyed his core with Swords Dance Charizard X. I've loved that set so much. I absolutely loved Sardax for that game. So it's a rematch after last season. Hopefully it goes as well as it did last time. So that's gonna be it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.